Rob here at etrailer.com, and today you're going to be taking a look at all the components necessary to flat tow your GMC Sierra 1500 down the road. There's going to be a total of 5 components needed to flat tow. The first one is going to be our base plate. Now this is going to be our secure connection point that's going to attach directly to the frame on our truck so that we can hook up our tow bar. Now the second component is going to be our tow bar, and that's going to be what connects to the base plate and connects to the motorhome. After that, we're going to have our safety cables. Now those are going to be a safety device just like on a trailer. In case there was a disconnection, these are going to be our last line of defense before our truck goes down the road. Then we're going to have tow bar wiring. This is going to make sure we get all the signals to the back of our truck when we're towing it so we can get down the road safely and everybody knows what's going on. Then finally, we're going to have our braking system. And that's going to be useful because we don't want to rely on our motorhome purely to slow itself down since we're adding so much weight to the back of it. Whenever it comes to base plates, there are going to be several different options out there. Here we have our Roadmaster Direct Connect. I really like it because it's extremely easy to use. Our tow bar is just going to hook directly into it. There's no other adapters, components, or a crossbar that we have to have installed to get it hooked up. And also whenever we're not towing, we can actually remove the arm and give it a really clean appearance to it. But one of the biggest things you really need to look at when you're looking at a base plate is the compatibility of the tow bar that you're going to be using. Now when it comes to the tow bar, we're going to have even more options. Now I always recommend getting a motorhome mounted tow bar, and that's going to be a tow bar that slides directly into the receiver on your hitch, so we don't have to worry about having a ball mount, a coupler, or anything else to get everything hooked up. Now here we have our Roadmaster Falcon 2, which is a really nice tow bar, but I recommend getting a non-binding style because once we do start towing, those arms are going to lock into a rigid position, and that's fine, but when we go to unhook, it does get a little bit tough and can be a little cumbersome to try to get it unhooked. So I like the Roadmaster Nighthawk tow bar because it is non-binding, it has a 10,000 pound rating, and it does come with your safety cables and electrical cords already there, so that's a few things we don't have to worry about. Now as far as the safety cables, the main thing you want to make sure you pay attention to is the rating. You need one that's at least as high as the truck that we're pulling, if not to be safe, go a little bit higher. Here we have our Roadmaster 68-inch coiled safety cables, which are going to be really nice if your tow bar does not have channels to pass them through, because the coiled is going to keep all that slack up off the ground, but they'll stretch if we need that slack to them. Next we're going to have our tow bar wiring. Now we're using the Roadmaster high power dial wiring kit, and I really like it because it's not going to change the outward appearance of our truck at all, unlike some of the magnetic lights where we're going to have to put them on. Not to mention the diodes are going to be a one-time installation with nothing else to mess with after that. And they're also going to protect our truck in case there are any kind of problems on the motorhome end. It's not going to go into our truck. Diodes are going to protect any kind of backfeeding. Another thing to keep in mind about diodes is there are several different brands and packages you can get them in. We chose to go with the one with the coiled cable, again for keeping that slack off the ground. But that's one less thing that we're going to have to pick up is the cable as well as the plug to mount on the front of our truck. Finally, we're going to have our braking system. Now that's going to be a very important component because it's going to help our truck slow down, and we're not purely relying on our motorhome to slow it down. Since we're adding all this weight, that put a lot of strain and stress on the brakes. So here we have our Air Force One, which is going to be made specifically for motorhomes that have air brakes. It's going to be a proportional system, which means that if we slow down easy coming up to a stoplight, our truck is going to apply the brakes nice and easy. But at the same time, if we get in a panic situation where we slam on the brakes, our Sierra is going to apply the brakes at the same time and intensity that our motorhome does. If your motorhome doesn't have air brakes though, I'd recommend the Stay and Play Duo, because that's going to work with motorhomes that have hydraulic brakes, and it's going to be more of an electronic thing rather than air pressure. One final thing that I would recommend picking up is the Roadmaster Automatic Battery Disconnect. Now it's not required, but if we look at our owner's manual, it is going to be required that we disconnect the battery on our Sierra in order to tow it. So instead of having to open up the hood, get our tools out, and disconnect everything manually, the Roadmaster Automatic Battery Disconnect is going to be just a switch of a button and we can cut all power. I hope this information has helped you whenever you're looking to flat tow your Sierra behind your motorhome, and you can find all these components and more here at etrailer.com.